Do you have horses that are grazing pasture or eating hay that contains high levels of oxalate? If so, your horse could be at risk of bone demineralization and developing bighead disease. Hi, I'm Shannon Godwin from Agsolutions, and in this video I'm going to be discussing oxalates, the types of grasses that horses eat that can cause the development of bighead, and strategies that you can implement to help your horse avoid developing the disease. High levels of an organic compound known as oxalate is found in many subtropical grass species throughout Australia and the world. So the types of grasses that we need to be aware of as they contain high levels of oxalate are grasses like Soteria, Kikuyu, Couch, bufflegrass, purple pigeon, guinea grass, signal grass, paragrass, pangola and green panic. So what happens is the oxalate binds itself or grabs hold of most of the calcium found in the plant, blocking the calcium from being absorbed and leading to a severe calcium deficiency. So if horses don't receive enough supplemental calcium when grazing high oxalate pastures or hay, then they are at risk of severe bone demineralization and bighead disease. Nutritional secondary hyperparathyroidism, or bighead, develops as a result of a calcium imbalance within the horse's diet. So during periods of calcium shortage, horses will take calcium from their bones to keep the blood calcium levels normal. So when this state of calcium deficiency occurs for a period of time, the horse will mobilize so much calcium and phosphorus from their bones that they become brittle and weak. So the expansion of the facial bones that gives the horses the characteristic bighead appearance is more commonly observed in younger horses. But other signs for you to keep an eye out that your horse may be developing bighead are things like a shifting or intermittent lameness. They could be more prone to ligament and tendon injuries, splints and bone fractures. So horses will often lose weight and get a rough hair coat, and their behaviour may change as they become agitated and sore to touch. They could also develop a nasal discharge and loud breathing sounds. And for those horses that are very severely calcium deficient, they may go down and not be able to rise. So how do you help your horse to avoid developing bighead? Luckily, bighead can easily be prevented, but it is essential that horses that are grazing grasses with high oxalate levels receive enough supplemental calcium to keep the calcium to oxalate ratio to at least 0.5 parts calcium to 1 part oxalate. Now this ratio is very important as an imbalance to the calcium to oxalate ratio can lead to bighead disease. Another thing to be aware of is that the higher the amount of oxalate that the grass contains, the quicker a horse can develop bighead, and the more calcium supplement is required to balance the calcium to oxalate ratio. So Soteria grasses, and in particular the Kazungula Soteria, are the most dangerous grasses for your horse to be grazing as they contain the highest levels of oxalate. For example, buffle and kikuyu contain around 15 grams per kilo of oxalate, whereas Soteria species can range from 30 to 80 grams per kilo of oxalate. So, if you do have horses grazing these grasses, don't forget to give them a good quality calcium supplement, such as the Megamin Bone Defender, at a high enough rate to balance the calcium to oxalate ratio for the grass that they are grazing. Also, it is important to consider when providing extra dietary calcium that you need to keep the calcium to phosphorus and the calcium to magnesium ratios balanced. I know this sounds so confusing as there are a lot of calculations to make and mineral ratios to consider, and that's where Agsolutions can help, as we provide a free diet analysis with the use of Megamin Bone Defender and Megamin Equine Enhancer. Megamin Bone Defender is a scientifically balanced calcium, phosphorus, magnesium and vitamin D top-up supplement designed to promote strong, healthy bones. So Bone Defender incorporates multiple sources of calcium, and it's been designed to be fed in conjunction with Megamin Equine Enhancer or as part of a balanced diet. So the reason behind not adding a high trace mineral premix to this product is because in the case where significant amounts of supplement is needed to balance the calcium to oxalate ratio, as is the case when horses are grazing solely on Soteria species, There could be a risk of horses receiving excessive amounts of other trace minerals like selenium that could have negative consequences. A very important feature of Megamin Bone Defender is that it comes with a very detailed feeding guide that factors in the horse's requirements for calcium in relation to its weight, workload, reproductive status and age. And this guide also takes into account the extra calcium required to balance the extremely high levels of oxalate found in Soteria grass species. So if you need help to balance your horse's diet, or if you have more questions, please contact us via our website agsolutions.com.au or visit our Agsolutions Australia Equine Facebook page. And don't forget to ask for Megamin Bone Defender and Megamin Equine Enhancer at your preferred store. Megamin Equine Supplements, see the difference.